I've got 6 o'clock. We could come to order. Call roll, please.
Barnes.
Here.
Dent.
Here.
Diorio.
Here.
Estes.
Here.
Hastings.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Pickett.
Here.
Price.
Here.
Schultz.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll move on to reading and correction and disposition of the minutes. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Sustained from the minutes, and Justice Dent seconded. Ready to vote?
Barnes.
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Diorio.
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Schultz.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And we'll move on to County Treasurer's report. Miss Wanda's here. Speak to
I have
us,
the
Miss Wanda.
report, so if anybody has any questions, and then I passed out a little sheet tonight, just FYI information on the ARP money and what the balance is that we have not committed. So, and the red check marks are the things that are finished. We're done with those.
All right.
So we got a balance 9121
So,
72.
that we have not given,
What
promised or anything.
What about the federal audit?
The one that they just did for Emerson cost $15,000. So we're gonna, I'm sure we'll have an audit for 2022 and 2023. Because it's based on how much you spend. So we'll have one for 2022 for sure. Hopefully we'll get all this stuff taken care of and maybe won't have a very expensive one for 2023.
What, I mean, have you got an idea of what maybe one would cost? I mean, we need to hang on
I
to
was
that.
very surprised when Denise told me they got a bill for $15,000 for the Emerson audit. But those audits are based a lot on how much money. In Emerson, they spent well over $9 million up there. I don't remember the exact number, but it's quite a bit. I mean, we ain't got that kind of money with our ARP money for sure. So.
Any more questions for Miss Wanda?
How you feeling about our revenue, Wanda?
Right now, we're holding good. We're holding good. I'm pleased at the moment. We'll just continue through the end of the year, hopefully. Because it's, y'all don't realize it, it's getting budget time, boys.
I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll think of that.
Not far from it.
And I think Wanda and I are off in October and November.
There you go.
I'm not real sure where we're going or what. When y'all get it all figured out, we'll be back.
We'll probably take off soon.
Well, educated. We've been educated, know we can roll this till December.
There we go. Any more questions? If not, we'll move on to County and Circuit Clerk's report. Miss Elisa's here if you have any questions for her. If not hearing any, we'll move right on to old and unfinished business. Ordinance on Poughkeepsie Fire Department, levy assessment, second reading. Justice Pickett.
Ordinance number 2022 being enacted by the Quorum Court of Sharp County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance of levy an annual assessment of $20 on each landowner in the Poughkeepsie Volunteer Fire Protection District. I make a motion we accept this, we pass it.
A second.
Got a second? Ready to vote?
Barnes.
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Diorio.
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Technically, put it on the third reading. It has to go on one more reading.
Okay.
Tonight, or
I believe believe it has to go one more month.
Month.
Third
Yeah.
reading.
Okay, for the third reading, okay.
So
All
that
right, good.
technically will just take, it'll go, move on to next month's
Next
meeting.
month's meeting.
And then after that, then,
Then we'll be able to pass the
yes.
ordinance. Okay, sounds great. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Anything else on that? All right. Next is new business with Highland Assembly of God Celebrate Recovery with Pastor Chris Clem. And is Dr. Jim with you?
No, sir.
No, sir?
He's
Okay.
up in Missouri.
Okay, all right. Well, it'd be just Pastor Chris. Come forward.
Hi, everybody. Good to see y'all. I was told if I came early, there'd be barbecue. I'm a little disappointed, but I'll be all right. Thank you. It's good to be with y'all. A few years ago, I talked to Judge King about Celebrate Recovery program. For those of you that are aware of the program, it is a addiction recovery type program, and it helps us with recidivism. I also serve in law enforcement for Chief Russell and work with the Sheriff's Department still. We recognize that's a problem. Folks cycle through the system, and so we realize, and the pastors will tell you, that we need some kind of a stopgap. Right now, the folks in our county that need to go somewhere to be in a program like Celebrate Recovery go to Batesville, some go to Thayer, some go to Jonesboro, well, a lot of them don't go anywhere. So we felt like we could go ahead and start the program here in our county. But we started about 5 weeks ago. We're averaging about 35 attendees on a Sunday night right now. We provide a meal. We also provide child care, and all this free to the attendees. And so the goal is to get them in and start trying to stop the flow of just folks cycling right back into our jail system, our penal system. And so I'm here today to ask for money, so we're going to take up an offering. I'm very excited. But I would like you guys to consider the program itself. I've got a handout for you to take home and look at. It's going to talk, it'll tell you a little bit about the program and what we're going to do. Right now, the church is funding it completely, and we will obviously continue to do that, but if we could get some funds available to us to help fund the program as it continues to grow, we'd appreciate that. I anticipate anywhere from 75 to 100 attendees once we really get this rolling. Batesville is large. I think the need is here, and we've got a good volunteer base between the other churches and, of course, what we've got with our own team, and we're committed to the program. I've got good leaders in place to help run it, and we're going to make sure it happens. So, anyway,
This house is down here on the corner. What do they do?
the Church of Christ?
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think they have a program going on right now, sir. Yes, sir.
Was that the same thing that you were talking
I
about?
think it was similar, I don't know, I think it was similar, but it wasn't the same thing.
Believers is the one in Batesville still.
Yes, sir. Believers is the one in Batesville that does it now. The Methodist Church in Cherokee was doing it for a while. My understanding is they haven't.
They're not that I know of.
Yes, sir. So I think right now we're the only ones in our area that are hosting it at this time, in our county.
Do you do it every week?
Yes, sir. It's every Sunday night from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. They serve a meal. And from 6 to around 8 o'clock, they have their programs and small groups. And it's been going really well. So, going really well.
It's a great program.
So I'd just like you to consider, we're looking, and I'll hand this out. Can I hand this?
Yeah,
Want
let's
me to
go.
step in? Can I hand
Let's
it?
go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Password. Need password.
There you go.
As long as you don't,
Yeah, really. I don't like being on the other side.
as long as you don't go back there where the barbecue's at.
Oh, well, yes, see, there you go. Yes, sir. Make sure I've got enough. I think I do. Yes, sir.
Do you have enough?
Yes, sir.
You can get me one later. Yes, all right. Go ahead and be sure and get them.
And I've got a budget in there for y'all to look at. Well, we're looking, I think annually we're estimating about $28,000 a year is what we're estimating. And then right now we're trying to raise about $1,500 a month. And really that's because the food issue is the thing as we're preparing meals every week. And that's the biggest cost. And then we're also providing childcare. We're getting paid childcare in there so we can make sure I have volunteers each week. But anyway, appreciate your consideration. Want to let y'all know the backpack event was Saturday, went really well.
Good.
566 backpacks were given out, 209 families were present. And Thursday night, at open house, they're going to hand out some more stuff. So we're anticipating continue to help the kids in the community and support the teachers. So
Thank you, sir.
appreciate y'all. Any other questions?
If not, thank you, brother Chris.
Thanks.
We appreciate you. All right.
You can just keep it, sir. and pass it on to Joe. Thank you.
All right.
If
Thank
you have
y'all.
any more questions, just ask Chief.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, Sharp County Fair Board, Mr. James French and Mr. Mary Ellen, and me. Y'all, come on up here, please. So, I have trouble hearing, so.
We're gonna give y'all a little bit of a report about the fair this year. She's got a financial report made up for you. You got it there in front of you, so you look it over, ask her any questions, she takes care of all our finances. And then when she gets done with that, then I'll go over a little bit of the improvements we've already started out there.
Y'all have any questions for me? I mean,
Well,
it's basically all black and white there.
What-
You want me to read it
What
to
was
you?
your bottom dollar?
You might have to. Yeah, how much is your balance on hand?
Right at 25,000.
Okay, that's not on here, is it?
No, I mean,
That's what
Does that include any of this money this government money?
no, that is nothing.
Just
This is
what the fair
this
brought in.
fair, what we paid out and what we
What they paid
got
out.
in.
This does not include any of the year's electricity bills, or water bills,
the,
operating expense. It is just for.
the total after
week of
fair.
fair, correct.
Right, right.
This is just the week of the fair.
Good.
We had a really good fair this year. I don't know how many of you guys got a chance to come out there to it, but if you did see it, you saw we had a good attendance, good fair all week long. Also, to go ahead and give you a report, you guys appropriated some money for us to repair, or to do a ceiling similar to this in the educational building. And I was by there this morning. They have got all the grid work done, got all the lights put in. I'm not sure that they have all the lights hooked up yet, but I know they have part of them because they had half of them turned on. And it's going to be amazing how bright it is in that building. With the work that we had already done on the walls and insulating, now putting this grid ceiling in there, this is going to be, it's going to be something that'll really be nice. And also in front of you, I passed out to all of you a copy of Rodeo Arena that we went and bought. And I've had several people ask different questions about it, but it kind of, if you know anything at all about rodeo arenas, it kind of explains, it's self-explanatory about what it is. The main question probably has been asked was, because we do use this ground for a truck pull also, was how was we going to be able to do that with the bucking chutes in place without moving it? Well, due to the diligent effort of Bo Lord, before he, I guess y'all knew he moved the mountain home, but anyway, he did the biggest part of this for us. But if you will look down there on the bottom of the page, the black little boxes, I guess you call it, those are bucking chutes. You've got 3 right-hand, 3 left-hand bucking chutes. Okay, standard in most arenas is for those to be 10 foot apart, a little 10-foot alley in the middle. We designed this one with the help of the people anyway. This is a 16-foot alley in the middle of it, so they don't ever have to be moved. Where they will be set will be back far enough that the front edge of these bucking chutes, in other words, if this was it, that would be the starting point, could be, let me rephrase that, that could be the starting point of the sled pulling down the track, because the sled would be back right in between the 2 sides. If you kind of look on there, that, like I said, that's 16 foot. We looked at it on a big scale, and I think there is 4 panels, 2 on each side, that will have to be taken out to just be sure we've got enough. I mean, they wouldn't have to come out, but guy driving backwards with a sled going in there, you don't even hit anything. So we can take those out, and we have a 16-foot space there for you to back into. The other end of the arena that has got the roping boxes, stuff like that on it, that is showing to be over in the corner. That could be up to however we set it up. It can be in the middle, it can be on the edge like it's showing, or it can be on the other side. So, I mean, it's very flexible to what we have. Do y'all have any questions?
Not any questions? Thank y'all very much.
One more thing on the building. I do have the building blowed down. I met with a guy last week, Wednesday, I believe it was. Anyway, he is getting us a bid that we turned into Mr. Neese for the insurance claim on the building that blowed down. So after we get it, then we'll see what move we have to make then, correct?
We're running though, we don't have everything insured like we should, but fixing it slowly but surely.
We are slowly getting there.
And I mean, just by the grace of God, you guys raised it, but, well, in 2019, it was insured for $75,000. And I don't remember if it was in 20 or 21, they raised it to $120,000, which still won't cover a replacement of it. But if we just, if they just had 75 instead of 120, they'd be hurting a whole lot.
The building that we're doing, the education building that we're doing all the work in, you told me this afternoon or this morning that the people said that it needs to be raised
Yes,
at that point.
yes.
But once we get this work completed, which I guess it's all right to tell this, the guy told me they would be done by Friday.
Wow,
So
great.
we have an event, and let me give it, or you can do that. We do have an event coming up in there, and I told him, we really need it done before that event comes about. So he said that'd be done by Friday. But once we get it done, then that 57,000, nearly 58,000 of improvements, we're gonna need to raise it again. Or I feel like we need to.
Yes, sir. You bet. I think so too.
So yes, we're slowly getting things in pretty shape. And I think if you look at the facility, everything's looking good.
It is. Looking real good. Done a great job.
He mentioned the event that we're having on August 22nd. We're having a awards banquet dinner for all of our junior exhibitors and all that stuff. And we would like to invite y'all to come see the progress of the educational building, and we're going to do a meal and just thank everybody and give out all of our awards to all of our exhibitors.
Wow. Thank y'all very much.
I don't know who you're dealing with on the insurance, but I would make a suggestion. You're raising those coverages quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Raise those deductibles too, because you can usually take care of a pretty good sized deductible and save enough money to offset that. I mean, that's something to look at. I don't know what kind of deductible we got.
We have $1,000 deductible now.
I'd raise it to 5 myself.
And we're insured through Arkansas Associations of Counties, through all of our insurance with. And it was insured for $120,000, and they raised it to, was it $179,000? Still like $22 a square foot. It was $34 and something a square foot, and it raised the premium $58.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, through the
It's a very minimal,
association,
yeah, it's very minimal.
well, they might not make.
We think that's affordable. We have all of our buildings out there is insured through you guys' insurance. I mean, it's, I guess the way that works, you get the bill and she pays it, is that the way it's done through y'all's stuff?
What was the date of your event again?
August the 22nd.
I think you'll do a super job.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate it.
It's at 6.
Put on a good fair and
Yep.
it was good.
We had good attendance, and if you look at those sheets that she gave you, I don't know if it has numbers as far as the amount of people, but the dollar amount, you see we had a lot of people.
Yep.
Did what?
And it was hot.
I don't know.
I think y'all need to give Gerald Hastings suggestions of weight,
Well, if
because he's done nothing with insurance.
Well, you may have a super rate, I don't know, it may not say that much.
Yeah, for every single building out there, it's, what was it, like $1,200 a year or something for every single?
Well, everything we
You
have
may
to
not have much to work with, they may be getting
You
a
might wanna lower it, Gerald.
Yeah. Yeah.
$1,900 for the whole, for all those buildings and rodeo arena and everything.
Yeah, well, that,
Was they gonna be able
you can't work
Well,
on that.
they'll do that.
We're just thankful that you guys let us insure everything through your,
We appreciate,
whatever you would call it,
we
y'all's
appre-
insurance. I guess is what
we appreciate y'all's hard work out there
I'm saying. Yeah, thank you.
for no pay. We really do.
We look forward
Thanks a
to
lot.
seeing y'all.
All
I
right.
hope y'all can come.
Come out, August 22nd. What is it,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. I don't know what they'll feed you,
Hey,
but maybe it'll be burger.
Smoked chicken.
They have hamburgers.
I wish. I tried to, he wouldn't have
He
this
didn't
at
say
the coffee
chicken.
day.
He cooked a whole lot of hamburgers out there this year.
great job.
I think I'm gonna start deep frying them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all
Good
coming.
Lord.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
We appreciate all the volunteers and all the hard work they do. They've done a good job, really done a good job. All right, next up is Mr. Steve Burkhart, a noise ordinance. Come speak on that, sir.
I'm sorry, I appreciate y'all's time. I have a issue. I live out in the country, I don't live in the city, so there's no noise ordinances out where I'm at. I have a neighbor who's consistently 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, they'll rev their engines, they'll hit their panic alarm on their car, make it go off, be out there yelling, shooting fireworks. I've called several times, Aaron is aware, I've called the police department several times. There's nothing the police department can do because there's no noise ordinance. Harassment, public disturbance, anything like that, they're on their own property. I feel like I should have the same privileges as those in the city, being able to live peacefully and quietly in my own home and enjoy my own property, especially at night when people are trying to sleep, go to work, etc. I went online, I found other counties in the state that have noise ordinances, and I'm just asking y'all to consider, and I'm trying to do this a legal way, move forward, and I y'all to consider passing a noise ordinance for, between the hours of 10 and 6 at night, where keep the noise down where people can sleep.
What counties,
Right here, I have Garland County, I have Pulaski County, and I have Faulkner County. These are just 3 of the counties that I've picked up.
Okay.
I mean, I can pick up more if you like more.
No.
Do you have any knowledge of this, Larry?
No. I talked to Bart Schultz, and he said he was gonna talk with the lawyer and with the sheriff, and he never got back to me. I never heard anything else. That's the reason I'm here.
Where do you live at, Dan?
I live right on 56, Poughkeepsie.
County. Rural.
Yeah, I'm very rural, but I mean, I feel like I should have the same privileges as anybody living here in Cherokee or Ash Flat, between the hours of 10 and 6, I should be able to sleep at night. I get woke up, my wife works, my daughter comes in at night, from working late shifts, she's over there doing this nonsense. They're making these noises and, people just can't sleep. I'm a paramedic, I work, and I gotta get up in the morning and go to work, for my shift, and I need to get my good night's sleep, so I'm effective to everybody else, who needs me. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I don't know, the court want to research it and get back?
I'd like to have Larry look into it.
Okay.
We've heard this many, many times over the years.
I mean, it's out in the county, and
I'm not real sure just what our authority is.
Right there's the man.
Well, number one, if the police officer is present and it's loud enough, he can give a citation for disturbing.
I've had Bobby out there and I've had Kelly out there both, and they both witnessed it. And they said there's nothing they can do
They have been cited for the use of fireworks
during a burn ban.
during the burn ban, and also as part of the noise problem. As far as any other action, there's been no other action taken.
No, maybe we have different complaints about what's going on.
Well, I mean, it's fireworks, it's revving engines, it's just noise in general. The fireworks during the burn ban, they were shooting them over my house. I didn't feel safe at all. It took 3 times for them to come out before they ever issued a citation for that. I've called them 4 different times for not just the fireworks, but other noises. They revving their engines, shooting fireworks. I have videos, all of it, so, and they do it all day and all night, but, you know, daytime, that's fine, make all the noise you wanna make, you wanna have a party over there, that's fine. But, you know, have some decency and some respect and show people, you know, let them sleep when it's sleep time.
No, it sounds like it is disturbing the peace violation. Maybe the sheriff's department might want to look into this and get back and give us a report next time on what they've seen, because evidently they have been involved in some of this. And then, make a report and we get back to you.
But as far as, they can write a citation with us without passing what he's asking.
Yes, it's state statute.
I think that's what's happened over the years past, that
See,
that
I
state
asked-
law covered it and we didn't have any need to do it.
I got a different opinion from Detective Guy, and I've also got a different opinion from Mr. Presser, unfortunately, on this, on that very same disturbing piece.
It covers a broad variety of, pretty broad.
Has any of the police officers talked to him?
Yes, Bobby's been over there. Kelly was over there and she ripped the engine in his face. Just plain out, being arrogant and ignorant.
All right.
I put his 670 Detroit in my front yard when they laid down, I'd let them have it.
I've got a motorcycle.
I could wean them.
That's a pretty good.
I've got a motorcycle that they can hear me in the shade if I got on it. You know, I'm trying to be respectful of them. I've asked them to
that's your
stop.
picket
They
over
call
there.
me every name in the book and everything else, you know, I'm trying to be peaceful. And now I'm trying to go another way.
All right, well, we'll get the sheriff's department, look into it and see what kind of citations that they can do and meet back next month. And, we'll look at it again for you, all right?
See y'all again next month.
Does that sound good?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. There's no resolutions and ordinances tonight. Announcements, like I say, brought to my attention that I've not been outspoken enough about telling people how much we appreciate their volunteerism. So I want to bring that to the attention of the court tonight, that I apologize. But anybody that volunteers, whatever you volunteer for, as far as the county judge is concerned, I appreciate you. Appreciate whatever you do. So, thank you very much. Anybody else got any announcements?
Yeah, I think the floor looks good.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Mr.
Have any
East,
complaints on it?
huh?
Have we had any complaints on the floor?
Sure, there's gonna be one.
It's gonna be some things, but.
I second.
Hey, we're not done. We're not done.
Everybody.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, listen. Go ahead, Miss Denise.
New Hope Church was brought up last month
Yep.
about needing money for their food pantry, and it was sort of tabled.
Yep.
And they were wondering if there was any chance of them getting any money at all. I told them I'd bring it up.
All I remember is saying they got it in too late. I didn't know if that meant too late forever or too late for last month.
They didn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their thing in too late, so it's,
I don't think we have any money through the funding.
we got that $9,100.
We did not advertise this, and we did not put deadlines on this.
Yeah, I know.
We did not advertise it or put deadlines. So, we can't say they got
And they would
it
have
in too
actually
late.
been here last
What
month.
was
We
it?
didn't have a deadline.
Deadline getting it on the agenda, is that what the deadline was?
No, they wanted to be on the agenda, but they had something else that they had to be at that
I
month.
see.
And they didn't have another spokesperson to come in for them.
I have no opinion.
My only concern is the audit. If they hit us with a big bill on
No, somebody else.
an audit, where are we gonna come up with this?
Are we gonna have to, are we allowed to use that money to pay for the audit?
We may have air
Don't
conditioning.
You don't think we
know
can?
revenue loss, so,
We may have air conditioning go out.
I mean,
I just wondered if you could, I didn't know
I
if
don't
you
think
could
we
use it.
suspend it for that, Chuck.
Lost revenue.
It's just
That'd be an
91.
improvement.
Well,
So,
Yes.
is it correct that we can go ahead and spend all this money anyway because we're not gonna be able to use it for the audit anyway? We'll have to come up with the funding for the audit from another source. That's not correct. So we can use this money for audit.
Right.
And that could cost us up to 15.
Appreciative of what you have given them, they have gotten their home or their house, and at this point, they had talked about coming back for the closing costs and all that, but they said that they've got it all covered. They've got money from Fulton County, and I think they just want to say thank you. And there's been some more research done, I think, on radios, and I think Aaron has a presentation on that for you.
I've got the numbers on for the A-Win system. Sheriff asked me to kind of look into that for him today. The sheriff did apologize for not being here tonight. He had a birthday party. For his youngest daughter, so I think it was a surprise to him too, so didn't know about it. On the A-Win radio system, I know there was some discussion about possibly going to that A-Win system. That's the same system the state police uses, a lot of the state agencies use. I contacted Barry Wilkes today first, and he told me that the A-Win radios themselves, the handheld radios, are between $2,500 and $4,000 a piece. That compares to what we're paying now, about $600 a piece for a handheld radio.
About how much?
$2,500 to $4,000.
I mean, the glowy.
700 is our radios that we use now, 6 to 7.
Yeah, that's one I didn't know.
And the radios we use now are digital capable, which digital systems and the A-Win system are two different things, but function a lot alike. Barry didn't suggest going to an A-Win system. He sells the A-Win radios. He said with our terrain and how we operate, it probably wouldn't be a very good idea. The pagers for the fire department, if we went to the A-Win system, about pagers, they're $1,000 a piece just for a pager. Plus our console systems we have in dispatch now aren't compatible, so we had to buy new consoles. We didn't know exactly what consoles would cost. There's also a fee to get onto that A-Win system. We had to contact Adam and even get on it, Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. But they don't have a set fee schedule. It's not a contracted schedule, so it can change year to year, kind of however it goes. But Barry said that he believed it would cost us about $42,000 per channel, a one-time fee just to get onto the A-Win system. But he said he had no idea how much it would cost, because it depends on your agency and how many radios you have, how many users you have, and then the actual usage, the amount of minutes you use on the radio system. Also contacted M&J Communications out of Little Rock. They're a little more familiar with the A-Win systems. They did a lot more of them. His radios, the cheapest he can get them is $2,650 a piece. That's for a handheld radio. The mobile radios you need in your car is probably a little closer to $4,000. So quite a bit of expense there compared to what we're paying now, because again, we're paying $700 for a handheld, about $700 for a mobile radio. Get digital video. His pagers were higher. He said $1,300 to $1,600 per pager. Talking about how many firemen we have in the community, but to be a bunch. It'd be a pretty expensive endeavor. You need new consoles. He said what he knew of our system, how much we use it, and everything that we do have right now. He thought the add-in fee would be $100,000, and that depends on how well it gets out. And if it doesn't get out like Adam wants it to, they would say we need a tower built, and then we're responsible for building that tower. They said it'd go up to at maximum $300,000. It'd be an expensive venture. And again, he sells A-Win radios. He said I would not build A-Win radios in your scenario. So two guys that we talked to both told us they can. Some other bad things about the A-Win system, it goes down monthly for service. It goes down for an hour to 3 hours depending on what they're going to do. They give no warning. They give no scheduling that they're going to go down. And once they go down, there is no radio system for that allotted time period. They do well at trying to keep it late at night, but again, late at night is when you probably need the radio system, probably the most. Prices depending on the number of radios we purchase and how much usage. So if we were to go with the fire department, police departments, and the EMS service, that's a lot of radio traffic, a lot of users, so this number could increase. And there's no way then for them to tell us, hey, you're going to have to spend $80,000 every year for so many years, or who says Adam can't come back out next year and say, hey, we need more money because we're using it more, so they go up. And you're kind of on the hook there for whatever whim Adam has. Coverage is not guaranteed. Systems, we talked to the state police, says it's 95% effective, 95% transmission rate. That's correct on the highways. I've used the A1 systems quite a bit. We use it when we're doing marijuana eradications with the National Guard. And when you get out in the rural parts of Sharp County, it's quite a bit better than what we have now. But there's still a lot of dead areas. And the problem with A1 being a completely digital system, it either works or it doesn't. There's no, oh, I can barely hear you, static, trying to make it out. It either crystal clear or it doesn't work at all. You have that issue. Both Barry and MJ Communications said if we were going to go with a AWIN system, we'd need to keep the system we have now operational for a backup, just because of the downtime and everything else. So got an additional cost of keeping that old system up and running. Not a radio guy, so I kind of relay on what they told me. Both these guys told me that AWIN would not be.
How long is that gonna be before they change it again? We've done changed 3 times on there.
We need change.
Well, we went from one to digital to something else.
We've always had analog systems in Sharp County. We had the high band, you know, the regular.
You talk about the 5G and that sort of thing?
No, I'm talking about the radios. We had to get new radios.
How analog radio works, you have a transmit frequency and a receive frequency, and they're separated by a number. And again, I'm not a radio guy, so don't quote me on any of this, but our transmit number may be 174, and our receive may be, used to be like 150. Well, they narrow banded that because FCC is out to provide a service to everybody in the world, whether they're making money or not. So they narrow banded, say you've got less frequency spread. So now we transmit on 160 and 173. It's closer together. The problem with it making it closer together is you lose range. That's why we had to switch radios from the old wide band to the narrow banded radios. That's what you hear when we talk about narrow banding. It's actually federal law that they're going to narrow band again. Because every time they narrow band, it opens up more frequencies so they can sell consumers to telephones, wireless door remotes, everything else. Because all that works off the same frequency levels. It's mandated by 2024, I believe, maybe 2025 now. I don't know. They keep changing when they're going to narrow band again. When they narrow band again, we won't have a radio system. I mean, it just won't. It won't be able to get out what we have here.
But by going digital, by having this update done, it's going to help us when that time comes.
If you go digital, you're going. You don't have that. The spread doesn't matter as much because it's a digital system. And I don't know how to explain the separation on digital because I'm not a radio guy. But the radios we're buying now at the sheriff's office and most of the fire departments are buying are digital capable radios. They're not costing us any more money than the non-digital capable. They're nominally different, $50 difference. And so that gives us the ability to look at the future into the digital system. I know the sheriff's offices or the radio system, provided money to update it to get our repeaters to digital capable repeaters. We're slowly moving in that way. And that's something we need to keep focused on, is trying to get moved to some sort of system. And it looks like right now digital is the cheapest, best system that's out there right now. That would work for us. It's not very clear because it's not very clear to me either. I have to deal with it every day.
That state deal that he was talking about, whatever, that was brought up because Treasury County got a $900,000 grant, but they didn't say that they had to spend $300,000 to get the $900,000. And it did say how many talk groups you had in that. And you got radio guys recommending we don't do it.
How many bands or channels or?
Right now, we have, I believe we have 4 channels.
4 channels, and you said they're 40,000 apiece?
Right now, no.
No.
But if we went to the A1 system, he was talking about $40,000 per talk group, minimum startup fee.
Sounds like to me, we don't need that anymore.
No.
Sounds like to me.
No, we went to going to buying radio instead of your pagers because you can't talk back over a pager.
No.
And there wasn't much difference in the cost.
Now, they've got a deal in Cape City Fire Department
Yeah.
that,
Everybody needs to go to.
and I think we're gonna go to it too. It's a pretty neat deal, and it's on your phone.
Well, that's why I get more stuff on my phone.
No, I mean, we get fire text.
What?
We got that deal, but they're slowly going up on this deal that they're.
Fire text. Fire text was a really good program when it got started. And it still is a good program. What fire text is, it sends out a text message to all the firemen in that fire department. You've got a fire at this location. The problem with it is AT&T and Verizon networks were actually, the company that is serving fire text, selling fire text, is actually violating their usage policies. And that's one of the problems we run into fire text. If you notice your fire text phone numbers change from time to time, it's because Verizon has blocked that number, AT&T has blocked that number from sending these text messages out. There's a lot to that, but it doesn't work very effective. What Cape City switched to, and Ash Flat and Cherokee's went to a different system or over. Ours is Who's Responding. But it's a capture device, so when the dispatcher pages the fire department out, it records what the dispatcher says and sends it to our cell phone. It sends an alert to my cell phone. It's an audible. I can repeat it. It's actually got mapping to go to the fire. It's a good system.
I was gonna ask if the cities could get in on this, if we, send this, financially.
That's one thing we've always looked at as the sheriff's office and the sheriff over the radio system is trying to make sure that whatever we do includes everybody somehow. You're talking about a lot of radios, a lot of people on our radio system, more so than most counties our size, because we do have a lot of volunteers. Thankful for every one of them. More people always brings issues that we have to deal with, not that it's a bad thing, it's just what moving parts.
Any more questions? For Aaron, for Chief? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Denise? No? You have something just to say? No? All right. Any comments or questions from the public? If not hearing any.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion? Second?
Been made, seconded.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank y'all very much. Have a wonderful evening.